questions in order on the first question will be District 1, 3, and 5. We'll try to rotate so that no one person gets the opportunity to answer a question first all the time. The first question starts off with George Thompson, District 1. What measures do you believe that the school board should put into place to increase our graduation rate?
First of all, I'm going to introduce myself. Those of you that don't know me, I'm George Thompson. I'm the current school board member for District 1. And also, I'm going to ask my wife, Donna, to stand up. Probably embarrass her, but usually anywhere I go, she goes. And now I'm going to ask Ms. Thornburg if she would ask the question again.
What measures do you believe the school board should put into place to increase our graduation rate?
The measures are in place. We just created a committee to take care of that. I'm on that committee now. I just feel like the biggest problem with graduation rate to me is, and you're going to hear this all night long, truancy. If kids don't come to school, they're not going to learn anything. And like I said, you're going to hear it all night long, but I feel like the measures are there. It's just getting everybody to buy into it. Our graduation rate went up about 17% this year. Next year, right now it's looking at 20% more at around 87%. So, and then also, it has a lot to do with the classes. Every now and then you're going to get a bad class, but if the parents would make sure their kids get in school starting at K through 3, then I think you would see a big change in your graduation rate.
My apologies, I was supposed to let y'all have 30 seconds of introduction time. So Melanie and Zeta, if you would stand up and introduce yourself, and then I'll repeat the question for you.
It's on. I don't really need this most of the time. My name is Melanie Anzetta. I'm a new resident of Franklin County, but I have been here. I've worked in the school system. I was middle school teacher in math, and I also taught credit recovery. I currently run the after-school programs where I see 120 students and their parents every day. And I feel that I am in tune with what those parents need in the school system. Thank you.
Your first question is the same. What measures do you believe the school board should put into place to increase our graduation rate?
As George said, we do already have a committee that's focusing on improving our graduation rates. One of the other things that I would look at is that we can identify many of our students in the 9th grade that are going to be possible dropouts, and we need to focus on those students, find out what they're needing, and whatever remediation they need, we need to get it early.
Barry Hand, if you would introduce yourself, and then I'll propose the question to you. Mr. Hand is District 3.
Good evening. My name is Barry Hand, and I was born and raised here in Franklin County. I have decided to run for school board because someone who has worked with children most of my adult life, I am so concerned about what seems to be so many ongoing issues in our school district. And I think that, I believe with all of my heart, that if those of us who love Franklin County can work and commit ourselves to hard work, we can return to prominence in our county. Thank you.
What measures do you believe the school board should put into place to increase the graduation rate?
Well, I, like so many of you, when I got the news that our school district was the last out of 67 counties, we were number 67. That cannot happen in our beloved Franklin County. What we need to do is develop a comprehensive plan, not only sitting in that chair at the school board meetings, but it's time for the school board members to get out in the communities, roll up our sleeves, meet with the parents, have some community settings, do what we have to do to once again bridge the gap between school and community and parents. We can do it. We've seen it done before. But being on the school board to me will be more than sitting in that chair for a meeting every other Monday night. Thank you.
Ms. Teresa Martin, if you would introduce yourself, and then I'll propose the question.
I am Teresa Martin, and for the past 16 years, I have served on the Franklin County School Board, and I have worked faithfully with the other board members to foster education opportunity for our students, for I know they are our future. On the graduation rate, my views on that is I think we need more parents' involvement. We know that a mind is a terrible thing to waste when it comes to our students of Franklin County. We need to collaborate with other agencies in our county and surrounding areas to make sure that we have everything in place for our students. Now, we do have a lot of things in place for the Franklin County, but it needs to be enforced and it needs to be consistent. So we need to have a consistent and accountability for the graduation rate. And also, we got to make sure that the data is put in and implemented in our system correctly so we can know just where we're at and the measurement for the graduation rate.
Mr. Carl Whaley represents District 5. Introduce yourself, and then I'll propose the question.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Carlton Whaley. And I am a resident of Franklin County and have been most all my life. I have been a community server here in Franklin County for 24 years as a deputy sheriff, and I have served 4 years on our Franklin County School Board. My wife is a graduate, Dana Duncan Whaley of Apalachicola High School. I graduated from Carabel High School, and we want to continue on with educating our children in our public schools.
What measures do you believe the school board should put into place to increase the graduation rate?
I feel that data-driven information can help with our dropout rate. As Ms. Martin spoke, good data will make that a possibility. And then be in constant contact with our parents. We can identify our children that are at risk for dropout. We need to be in constant contact with those parents, watch the students' test scores, step in, make a difference in these children's lives. It just takes a few hands to bring these children forward.
Ms. Pam Schreiber, if you would introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Pam Shiver. I am the incumbent at the district seat of District 5 for the school board. I am the wife of Scott Shiver. We have 5 children between us. We are a combined family with 11 grandchildren and 2 on the way. I'm a lifelong resident, and I
believe that we're heading in the right direction. I believe that we have a very collaborative board, and I hope that I have done a good job for the county the county residents, and I hope that I can continue serving. Thank you. On the subject of graduation, I have to echo what Mr. Thompson said. Truancy is an early indicator of dropout, and it starts early on, all the way into kindergarten. Truancy begets discipline problems, which beget low graduation rates. So we need to get back to the root of the problem. As far as the administration is concerned, there's not a whole lot that the board can do. We monitor data, we give the resources, and we supply the rules. As far as implementing those rules and resources, that is the duty of the superintendent and the administration. But the role of the board is that we can put things in place that will engage our students, monitor data, and make sure that the administration has the tools that they need to succeed and the resources that they need to meet the needs of our students. Thank you.
You go. We'll go in a reverse order with these questions. District 5, then 1, then 3. The second question is, what should the school board do to address the discipline issue? Ms. Shiver, you're first.
First of all, I'd like to state that old school discipline does not work with the modern family. We cannot paddle and expect to get the results that we had 20 years ago, unfortunately. There is a change in the atmosphere when it comes to families. And I feel like that we need to work a little bit more towards family intervention. We have issues, with students that don't get the support at home. I believe that our discipline should be restorative and not reactive. And maybe we need to work more towards putting things in place to make sure that these kids are getting what they need, because unfortunately they're not getting the structure, and we need the reinforcement. If the family isn't engaged, the family needs to support the measures that we're taking to make the difference in these children's lives.
Mr. Whaley, same question.
Yes, ma'am. I think that we need to, as a board, put in policies and discipline policies that are consistent and is at a graduated rate, and be firm with our discipline, but each child that commits an offense of the discipline code gets the same punishment. And as much as I want our children to stay in a primary setting, if the discipline continues, have a measure to place them into an alternative setting to keep our other students that are complying with discipline on task. Thank you.
District 1, Melanie Anzetta. What should the school board do to address the discipline issue?
Well, the school board already has a code of conduct in place. They review it every year and make additions and changes, and we just need to see, first of all, that those code of conduct is enforced consistently. I think one of the things that we need to do is, once a child has received his consequences, is that we should be able to take opportunity to maybe teach him or show him where he could make a change in his life, their life, give them a chance to improve their behavior, but only after they pay the consequences based on the code of conduct.
read it again?
George Thompson, District 1. What should the school board do to address the discipline issue?
Well, first of all, last year discipline got so bad at the school because it wasn't being enforced that the board finally was able to get the alternative education school started again. But firm, fair, and consistent. Carl said that a while ago. That's what you have to do. We have the policies. We have the code of conduct. The code of conduct must be enforced by the administration. If the administration does not want to enforce the code of conduct, then the superintendent needs to step in. Superintendent doesn't, and we're going to get a new superintendent here soon, and hopefully they will. So that's really the way I feel about the discipline.
District 3, Teresa Martin, same question.
So this question, it always comes up. Let's go back when our school systems were in our communities. When Brown Elementary was in East Point, Carabel had their school in the community, Apalachicola. We did not have the discipline problems that we have now. Now, that's spilled milk because the school is not in our communities anymore. Parenting has changed. Communities have changed. Most of our parentings now are single parentings. We have to be a wise enough school board. We have to be a wise enough school board to get that and to say if it takes us going into the communities and bridging the gap again between parenting and the school system, we have to do that. Parenting, the parents, they want our help. They want to know that we are their allies. Right now, it is a fractured bridge. But if we can build that bridge again, we can cure our discipline problem. Thank you.
The third question will go from District 3 to 5 to 1. Mr. Han, I hate to ask you to stand back up. Would you answer this one first? The new school choice law is the law that does not require students to live in the same district as they attend school in. Are there any policies that the school board should put into place to address this new law?
Let me say this, that whenever that law came across, we were already in trouble because we are losing so many of our children to Gov County. And I know that a lot of us are aware of that. What we can do, we are going to have to work very hard. We are going to have to regain the trust again of the parents and the community. The school board system has changed. We cannot continue to just sit in those chairs every other Monday night. Now it has changed to the point where we have to go out in the community. We're dealing with a fractured, almost a broken school district. If no one else don't want to say it, I'll say it. And it's time for us to make some tough decisions to bring it back together again. Thank you.
Ms. Martin, same question.
The board just don't sit on the school board. The board goes out and have community workshop throughout the Franklin County to ensure that parents are having aware of what's going on with their child, their students in the Franklin County school system. They don't just sit on the board and do nothing. We work hard, we get the information out, we work diligently to ensure that. But the question is on the school choice. It doesn't take place until next year, 2017-18. And the choice is that you will have a choice to take your student to any school as long as there's no discipline, but you have to provide your own transportation. And so that will take place next year. But we'll have things already in place to provide to make sure our students stay at Franklin County. So we have programs and technical programs.
District 5, Mr. Whaley, same question.
I would like to add on with Ms. Teresa Martin's end of her statement. We have to do something to keep our kids in our school. We need to promote and draw our students in with vocational programs. We have many children that go further on in their education to college. I think that we need to really search upon the ones that are going to a vocation. It will help our dropout rate, as we spoke on earlier. It will help our students from going to schools that do offer these programs. I know of no policy that we can put in place to overrule the governor's orders, but we can do everything we can to keep our kids in our school with these different programs. Thank you.
Ms. Shiver, same question.
As the school board liaison for policies, this is a subject that I've already had a little opportunity to study. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Open enrollment guidelines are going to be necessary in order for us to protect our FEFP. And I'm sure that other districts are going to be in have the same kind of guidelines, and we'll probably all have to get on the same page. What it's going to do is, because you have certain times where the FEFP is cut off, you're going to have an opportunity for these students to apply for the school for the next year, and then we'll have to cut it off. We need to monitor these students to make sure that this transition hasn't caused them to fall behind in their education. Also, I just wanted to say that there are good things going on in Franklin County, but we do need to work on trying to try to engage our students and make them want to stay here. We have to make it the best school possible.
District 1, George Thompson first, same question.
First of all, education is a business now. Yes, we have lost some kids to other counties, but and just one quick example, you can get it if you put the time into it. There's a girl that works out there at Ace Hardware. I'm going to say her name, Trinity Hardy. She's 21 credits short. She just graduated of her AA degree. Right now, we're going to have at least 3 students as of today that will graduate from Gulf Coast State College before high school next year. It's what the parents and the kids want. Now, this in bigger cities, this bill is going to play a big role because it's going to get into athletics where a kid is going to want to play football at one school, transfer, play baseball at another school. And also, it's going to have an effect on your budget because they might be at your school for a half a year and leave you. So you're going to have to really watch your budget. Thank you, Ms. Martin.
As Mr. Whaley said, we have, and Mr. Thompson, we have already in place where our children who want to go to college can go to college and graduate before or at the same time, high school and at least 2 years of college at the same time. But not of all of our children are college bound. Does not mean they do not want a higher level of education. We do need to focus on those other areas of technology and vocational opportunities, so our children will want to stay here because we will offer them what they need and what they want.
Question number 4 will go from District 1 to 3 to 5. Ms. Anzetta, will you stand up again? Thank you. Please tell us why you're running for the school board. And since you are Mr. Thompson's opponent, please tell us why you believe that you might be a better choice for this office because of your vision for the school system.
First of all, I think my vision and Mr. Thompson's vision are probably the same. I don't think either one of us want anything less than a quality education for all of our children. My vision for the school is that we're already moving in the right direction. We're getting our scores in, and it's showing that we are showing improvement in certain areas. We need to focus on the areas that we are not improving on and continue moving forward. However, what I have been in the school system, as I told you or said earlier, I've been a teacher. I've been in the credit recovery program where those students that have fallen behind, we've given them an opportunity to catch back up. I have seen the children and their desire to do as well as they can. I also see children every day. Again, I see pre-K through kindergarten, pre-K through 8th grade students every day after school and 9.5 hours, 4 days a week in the summer. We had taken opportunity. Those children want to learn, and I think my experience with the teachers and the students and the parents would make me a good candidate.
Mr. Thompson, please tell us why you're running for the school board, but also tell us some of your accomplishments over your last 4-year term.
Why am I running for the school board? And it's going to sound crazy to my wife, but I love it. I mean, I love trying to make a difference in a kid's life. It's a tough job. It's not what everybody thinks it is, but you just have to keep going. There's so much negativity you hear every day. You have to let it go and try to work on the positive. The accomplishments, I'm going to just mention one, and this was big to me. 4 years ago, we had a financial crisis. A couple of mistakes made, one by the school system, one by the property appraiser's office. I think it's $1.4 million. Today, we have a fund balance of $1.5 million. That's over a 4-year span. The state requires you to have a 3% fund balance. Ours is a little bit over 10% right now. But I'll thank the administration and the finance office for that.
District 3, Ms. Martin, would you go first and tell us why you're running for the school board? And since you are an incumbent, tell us one of your accomplishments over the last 4 years.
School board because it's always been a passion for me. I'm dedicated. I've served on the school board for 16 years. I'm there for the people, for the students, for the administrator, for the staff. I continue to work hard for programs, for our vocational programs that is in place. One of the things that we have accomplished, no single board member can act alone. It takes the whole board to make all the accomplishments. So I have on my flyer that you can see in the back of the room back there of all the accomplishment that the board and I have accomplished together. Building a brand new facility. We did dual enrollment for our students at Gulf Coast Community College. We continue to work with our parents and we have encouraged professional growth and development for our students and our staff of Franklin County School System. So we also have activity buses and everything that we're putting in place for the Franklin County schools. So we have a whole lot of accomplishment that has taken place in Franklin County, but no board member can act alone.
I'm running because, simply put, I really believe that we are better than what we are experiencing. I envision to see our school system better than what we are envisioning now. Now, I envision us very quickly moving from number 67 up in the teens very quickly, because I'm from Franklin County and I know what we are capable of doing. 10 out of the last 12 years, we have been a C or below school. 10 out of the last 12. Yes, as my opponents say, we're building new facilities, but how about the academics? A report just came out that our third grader, Franklin County, they are reading less than 1%. We have some comprehensive planning to do. I'll say it again, it's time for us as a board to get our hands dirty. We can do it. Thank you.
District 5, Ms. Shiver, will you go first? Why you're running, and please share some of your accomplishments over the last 4 years.
I'm running because I believe that in the past 4 years, we have moved forward more than the board has in the past 100 years. Thank you. My daughter. We have, we've put some things into place that have revolutionized the school board. We have increased transparency. You know, now you can get the whole board packet before the meetings, thanks to a few suggestions from other people. We have increased communication, compliance. I feel like that we've really moved forward in the compliance issue. As far as the administration part of things, you know, we're in an issue, or we're limited to what we could do through legislature, I'm sorry, my tongue's all tied up, through legislature rulings. The board has their guidelines, the superintendent has theirs, and we have to stay within our personal guidelines. Yes, ma'am. What was the other part? I'm sorry.
Tell some of your accomplishments over the last 4 years.
Okay.
But I believe
Sorry about that. That's okay. I believe that our board is more organized and transparent than ever, like I said before. I've served on the board for 4 years, and of those 4 years, I've served as the board chair. I feel that we have... What is it? I'm sorry, I thought, are we doing both questions? Okay.
District 5, Carlton Whaley, please tell us why you're running for the school board, and because you are Ms. Shiver's opponent, please tell us why you might be a better choice for this position.
I'm running for the office of school board in District 5 to make positive change in our students' lives, to bring physical awareness to our county, to increase the information that is provided to our parents, to provide one-on-one as a school board member to our students. Over about 20 years, I have served quite a bit of time with the school district. I spent 6 years as a school resource officer, daily in our schools, making a difference in our kids' lives. After that, I spent 4 years on the board. I was in the schools more than I was out of the schools. And having a 15-year-old child attending school at the Franklin County Schools, I think makes me a better choice as being a school board member, because I have a vested interest in what goes on at our schools. Thank you.
The fifth question will be District 5, 3, and then 1, and then we will take a short 3-minute recess in between these two groups. District 5, Mr. Carlu. What do you see as the two most challenging issues that you would like to address if elected?
I think if elected, the two most challenging issues would be correcting our discipline problem. Again, seeing that discipline is handed out fairly, consistently, firmly. And the second is having vocational programs come to our schools. It's a change that has been needed for quite some time. Years ago, we had auto mechanics, building trades, marine mechanics, different vocational programs within our school. All of a sudden, we stopped. We're seeing a higher dropout rate since we dropped those courses. Those are my concerns, is keeping our kids in school and creating an environment where discipline is not interrupting our educational process.
Ms. Shiver, what do you see as the two most challenging issues that you would like to address?
I think that focusing on truancy, like I said earlier, is one of the biggest issues that we need to focus on. I believe it's the root of all evil, and that it would solve a lot of our problems. Another challenge that I feel like that the board faces is the school board is responsible for having, we provide the rules and the resources, and a lot of times, you know, I think the community feels like that we're responsible for implementing those rules and resources and holding the administrative, I don't want to say that we don't hold them accountable, we do hold them accountable, but to have any recourse of action for them not doing their job properly. We do like to hold them accountable, we do ask for the data, we review it frequently, and we try to come up with plans to solve these problems, but unfortunately, you know, it is in the hands of the administration to take the resources that we provide for them.
District 3, Ms. Martin, what do you see as the two most challenging issues?
I believe that it's discipline, and also we need additional programs that our students will be interested in and want to stay at our school. We have the ROTC that we've been working on. That's nothing new to the board. We've been working on that for years. That's one of the programs, but we're working with Gwen Graham right now, and our name is on the list along with 200 other schools. So we're hoping that we get that program in the Franklin County school system. That's been an ongoing thing with the Franklin County school system, and also to seek the funding so we can get these programs to stay in here with the vocational programs as well as the academic.
Mr. Hand, same question.
Yeah, but so we always have the same conversation. ROTC, we have it every 4 years. It's time to stop talking about it and do it. Gulf County has been doing it for years. Leon County, Liberty County, Calhoun County. All of the surrounding counties are doing what we talk about we want to do every 4 years. Also, our graduation rate. We are handing out certificates of completion to kids that are walking across the stage in Franklin County. It is becoming the norm. If we do not discuss this head on, you, parents, community, all of us, then our children are not only going to be leaving, there is one more step. We are in such a bad position that there is one more step to take. The state is going to come in and take over our school.
District 1, Ms. Anzetta, please.
Yes, I think we see a pattern, but the first two things is truancy and the discipline. They're basically tied together, but we first have to have our children in school. We need to find out where they are and get them into our schools. And we need to have the resources. Our attendance officer needs to be able to do attendance and go and find those students and contact their parents and let them know the consequences for not having their child in school. And second, when their child gets there, we need to make certain that the discipline is there so that the children who want to learn can learn. And that because a teacher cannot teach in a class where she's constantly having to lay down discipline. So we need to focus on our discipline.
District 1, George Thompson, same question, please.
Just like a couple other people, truancy. Truancy, you won't have discipline if you have truancy because they're not going to be there. You know, the ones who are truancy are usually discipline problems. Real quick, the state's not going to take over our school, okay? And then one thing that this first time I've mentioned this, I've been thinking about this real quick, that I want to try to, hopefully the board can work on this. Thank you for the referendum once again, but a goal I would like to have is 4 years from now that we don't need that referendum again. We owe it to the taxpayers and the people who have helped us these last, to be 12 years. But, and then once again, the school's not taking our school. I mean, the state's not taking our school.
Thank you, school board candidate.